Hello and welcome. My name is Harold, and this video will be all about my vision of moving to Costa Rica. I will tell you all about what kind of vision I have, why Costa Rica, where does this vision come from, where it started, how I see my future. So let's start with why moving to Costa Rica, why this vision. So for this vision, we have to go back a little bit in time. When I was young, when I was a teenager, I was always interested in nature, wildlife, birds, mammals, reptiles, all that kind of stuff. And actually, during my 20s, when I was still living with my parents, I kept snakes and poison frogs in my room. So yeah, that was quite something. And I had a friend in my neighborhood, and he loved the tropics. He loved rainforests, snakes, poison frogs. That's why I also had these kind of animals in my room. And together with him, we could talk for hours about rainforests. You know, watching documentaries on National Geographic, looking at our frogs in our rooms and snakes, and that's when my love for the tropical world actually started. So and when I was 23 years old, I traveled I traveled for the first time to a tropical country. I did a group tour to Thailand. And the first time I entered this tropical country and actually a rainforest in Thailand, I immediately felt at home. It was so amazing, all the sounds and the smells and the birds and the wildlife, the monkeys, everything. I really enjoyed that. So during my 20s, I traveled a lot to tropical countries. When I met my wife, we traveled to. She's actually from Peru, so I've been to the Peruvian Amazon. We went to Malaysian Borneo. We've been to India. We've been to Australia, Daintree Rainforest. I've seen some of the most amazing rainforests on the planet. And I actually this was the time of the year. So during the holidays, these were actually the times of the years when I, felt alive. I actually felt alive. So when we had to go back to the Netherlands where we live, to work again and wait for the next holiday, I was feeling depressed, and I really enjoyed being in nature and in the tropics. So I was working as a mechanic since I was 17, and when I was 35, 36, I was completely done with this. I had to do something else. So I actually quit my job in 2016, and I started studying again full time. And because I've always loved the rainforest and wildlife, I decided to study international forest and nature management, and I specialized myself in tropical forestry. So that was actually the perfect study for me. And during the study, I became interested in birds. Well, actually, I was interested in birds, but not as much as during the study. And bought my binoculars. Started birding here in my town, in the area where I live. And because I did a specialization in tropical forestry, I actually went to Suriname and Portugal for my study. And I think it was 2019. I think it was 2019. We went on holiday to Costa Rica with me with my family, and we already had our son, who who was one at the time. And I've always wanted to go to Costa Rica because of the the enormous biodiversity and the rainforest and but to be honest, it wasn't really love at first sight, if you want to put it that way. Costa Rica is a beautiful country. It's not that big. It's everything is you can everything is accessible. There's so many birds, so much wildlife. But if you compare it with I don't know, Peru, where my wife comes from, culture-wise, it's a little bit more Americanized, or so to call. There's a lot of expats living there and pensionados from the United States. So it wasn't really love at first sight. But when I was finishing my study, I had to do my thesis, and I actually had to go to for my internship. I actually had to go for 6 months to yeah, outside of Europe, but because of the Corona pandemic, that wasn't possible. So I decided to go to Costa Rica and do my thesis over there. So for the second time, I was in Costa Rica, and this time, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did my thesis in the cloud forest of Costa Rica, and I studied bird diversity between different forest succession stages. And yeah, this was when I came home from this thesis. The idea began to grow in my head of, yeah, maybe this would be a good country of living. We already had our second child, and yeah, because I've always wanted to live abroad and live in a tropical country, I thought, well, maybe Costa Rica will be a good idea. So yeah, after I graduated in June 2021 last year, I decided to go on another holiday with my family to Costa Rica and actually travel around and see if it feels good to maybe live here. Yeah, we traveled around, saw some different areas in Costa Rica, and yeah, when we came home, I actually the idea of living in Costa Rica became bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger. So yeah, so now's the vision has grown. I know I want to live in Costa Rica with my family, and yeah, but what to do? So because I've studied forest, international forest and nature management, and I've specialized in tropical forestry. Yeah, I want to do something with that in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica, is a perfect place to do all that. So when I did my thesis in Costa Rica, I stayed at a research center, and I really like this idea about having a small research center where students or volunteers or researchers could come, and I could help them with their project or with their study, with their research. So that would be an idea to do in Costa Rica. Buy a piece of land for maybe for a small reforestation project, and build a small research center. But yeah, how am I going to pay that? Well, we're going to have to sell our house in the Netherlands. This is my house where I live. So that would give us some money to buy a piece of land in Costa Rica. And yeah, I've also thought about where in Costa Rica, because I have a family with 2 kids. We don't want to be too far off the grid, too far away from society. So we want to be close to I don't know, a town or a small city where we have access to you know, to schools for our children. They are 2 and 5 right now, so you know, they're young, but the oldest has to go to school, so it's important you know, to see where a city with schools and you know, small health center would be important. But also the price of the land in Costa Rica differs a lot. You know, if you go to the Atlantic coast, that's the most actually the most expensive part of Costa Rica. But if you go a little bit more to the Caribbean side of the country, you know, this is where a lot of other reforestation and research projects going on. You know, the price of land can be a little bit lower, so that would be an interesting area to look for some land. And I'm actually, you know, going to Costa Rica in December to look for some pieces of land, so that's really exciting. You know, I've looked around on the internet, and you know, the internet is not really the perfect place to look for land, but you know, you can get some ideas. And I'm actually flying to Costa Rica in December, and you know, I found this organization that sells land for reforestation, for conservation. So you know, that's really interesting. And I'm going to travel a little bit around the Central Valley to look for some pieces of land, and yeah, we'll see what how it actually looks like in you know, in with how it actually looks like, and not see it on the computer. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you about my vision. So there will be more videos about, you know, my development and yeah, how it goes moving to Costa Rica, and if we are actually going to make the move, and how, and you know, all the things that come with moving to another country, and you know, doing a migration. So if you're interested in you know, in my process and my time in Costa Rica in December, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, so you will be notified when new videos will be uploaded. And yeah, I'm excited. Hope you too. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.